All right, let's get into it. Today, we're unpacking a really interesting piece of research that tries to solve a huge problem in school today. How do you make exams on your phone not just secure, but actually useful? The answer might be something called EduAnalyzer.
So this is the big question, right? We're all doing more and more online, but when it comes to exams, it's kind of the Wild West. How do educators make sure things are fair and cheat-proof? And on the flip side, how do students get feedback that actually helps them learn? That's the core problem we're exploring today.
Okay, so let's really break down this dilemma. The whole world shifted to digital learning almost overnight, it feels like. But the tools we use for testing, well, they haven't quite caught up, and that's created some major gaps.
And this research really nails two of the biggest issues. On one hand, you've got really weak identity verification. I mean, how do you truly know who's taking the test when a username and password can be shared in a text message? Then, for the student, the feedback is just lacking. You get a pass or a fail, but you have no idea why or what to study next.
So, to tackle those exact two problems, the paper puts forward this solution. It's an app called EduAnalyzer, and it was built from the ground up to fix both the security issue and the feedback problem.
So what exactly is EduAnalyzer? Well, think of it as a super smart exam app for your phone. It uses the stuff already built into your device, your fingerprint or your face, to make sure it's really you. But here's the kicker. It also works offline and has a built-in analytics engine to give you detailed reports on your performance. The goal is simple. Make it secure, fast, and actually insightful.
All right, that all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work under the hood? Let's peel back the layers and take a look at the tech that makes this whole thing tick.
The whole system is basically built on 4 key layers. It all starts with the security layer. Then you have the data layer, which is all about handling the exam info. Then there's a proctoring engine for while you're taking the test. And finally, it all comes together in the analytics and reporting layer. We're going to step through each one. First up, the security layer. And honestly, the best way to think about this is like a digital bouncer for your exam. Instead of a password that can be stolen or shared, it uses your phone's own biometric hardware. So it's your unique fingerprint or face that gets you in the door. It's all about making sure the right person, and only the right person, is taking that test.
Now this looks like a bunch of code, but what you're seeing here is actually the secret sauce. The app isn't asking for your fingerprint data. That would be a huge security risk. Instead, it's asking the Android operating system to check for it. Your actual fingerprint or face data never ever leaves the secure chip on your phone. The app just gets back a simple, yep, that's them, or nope, try again. It's incredibly elegant and super secure.
Okay, next are the data and proctoring layers, and they really work together. The data part is so smart, it uses an offline database on your phone. This means you can take the entire exam even if your Wi-Fi is spotty or cuts out completely. Then you have the proctoring engine. While the test is running, it turns on your front camera. Now, it's not necessarily recording you, but the researchers call it a psychological deterrent. Just seeing yourself on screen is a pretty powerful reminder to keep your eyes on your own work. And of course, the whole thing is governed by a strict countdown timer to keep it fair for everyone.
And this is the final piece of the puzzle, and maybe the most powerful for students, the analytics layer. This is where EduAnalyzer becomes more than just a lockdown test. It basically becomes your personal performance coach. It takes all your results, your history, your answers, and turns that raw data into these beautiful, easy-to-read charts that show you exactly where you're strong and, more importantly, where you need to improve.
So the idea sounds amazing, right? The architecture seems solid. But does it actually work? Well, the researchers put it through its paces to find out, and the results are pretty impressive.
First off, speed. Get this, the time it took from a successful fingerprint scan to the app's main dashboard was less than 500 milliseconds. That's less than half a second. It's basically instant. There's no lag, no waiting, just a completely seamless experience.
And what about that all-important security? Well, it got a perfect score, 100%. In every single test they ran, the biometric layer successfully blocked anyone who wasn't supposed to get in. That's proof that using the hardware that's already in your pocket is a truly rock-solid way to secure an exam.
And this is where that analytics layer really comes to life. Just imagine you're a student and you get a chart like this. You can see right away, okay, my physics scores are climbing, that's great. My chemistry is improving too. But my math scores have kind of flatlined. This turns a grade from just a number into a roadmap. It gives you real, actionable feedback to help you study smarter.
So, when you put all of this together,
what does a system like EduAnalyzer really mean for the future of education? Let's zoom out for a second and think about the bigger picture.
So why does all this matter? Well, it really comes down to three huge things. First, accessibility. Because it's offline first, it can work for students in areas with bad internet, which is a game changer. Second, integrity. Using biometrics and that virtual proctor really raises the bar for exam security. And third, and maybe most importantly, insight. It gives students the power to understand their own learning in a way a simple letter grade never could.
And this isn't the end of the road. The researchers are already dreaming up what's next. They're talking about integrating AI that could actually detect if a student is looking away from the screen too much and automatically flag it. And also adding cloud sync, so your results and progress would be available on any device you use.
So we'll end on this thought. We often think the solutions to big educational problems have to be complicated and expensive. But what this research shows is that maybe, just maybe, by using the incredibly powerful and secure technology we already carry around every single day, we have the answer. What if the future of the classroom is already right there, in your pocket?